I'm David, and it's just David today. This week we have a special mini-sode instead of a full-blown episode like we generally have each week. Remember to check us out at our website at virtualboys.xyz to keep in touch and follow what we've been doing. Well, without any ado, let's get started. Anyway, let's discuss a little bit of news. This last week, well, we've had some Splatoon news. The recent Splatfest is over. The Marshmallows beat the Hot Dogs with a really close score. They destroyed the popularity vote, but the Hot Dogs pulled through and won the battle side of things. So congrats to Marshmallows for beating the Hot Dogs. It appears that along with the recent update that was released last week, a data miner found some interesting new features that could probably come out in the next update. There are some new weapons, of course, as usual, and most importantly, there's an OctoKid skin for the player. I have no idea how that will work out, and, well, frankly, nobody does, but hopefully the new official announcement shouldn't be too far off. The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes has a release date now. It'll be out on October 23rd this year, so I'm looking forward to that game as a Zelda fan myself, and I know, well, my friends, James, Jordan, and Skylar are also looking forward to it. In other news, GameStop has a few interesting pre-order bonuses. They have a retro 3-pack of Amiibo that you can hurry and pre-order. I have no idea if the pre-orders are gone at this point, but they were selling Mr. Game & Watch, Rob, and Duck Hunt as a $35 3-pack. It also appears that they have a nifty-looking poster detailing Super Mario's history if you pre-order the Super Mario Maker game through them online or at their stores. That game is set to come out early next month. In other big news, it actually looks like Nintendo is prepping for quite a big mobile game announcement. The DNA, the company that's working on the games with Nintendo, listed their quarterly reports that an announcement was being worked on with Nintendo. So I'd say you can definitely look forward to that. Finally, we have some solid images of new Pokemon like we were discussing a bit last week. The CoroCoro magazine, which is generally leaked early, showed some screenshots of the new green Pokemon as well as a new Mega Evolution that will be featured in Mega Evolution 4, I believe. So, as usual, there's plenty of great news for Nintendo lovers out there. Even with the less than stellar E3 announcements that we've gotten, there's some things to look forward to. And, well, to look forward to in the near future. We're trying to post news as we see it on the website, so be sure to check us out on the website if you found this podcast some other way. So, now let's get to the actual meat that is this mini-sode episode. I want to talk about a game that is relatively new to me, even though I've heard about it for years and years and years. I recently decided to pick it up and pay for it. Well, it's actually a trilogy, and I've been flip-flopping between the first two games. You know I'm talking about the Mother trilogy. I have been hopping through the first two games, as I've said, and I have to say I really, really enjoy what's going on. Earthbound Beginnings recently released on the Wii U eShop, and I had to pick it up. I've heard so much about the series from Skylar and Jordan and plenty of other Nintendo fans that I've met that I just had to grab that one as well as the SNES Earthbound game. And I've been playing both of them as well. I haven't been playing much, though, however. My exposure is really only through the first Melody and Beginnings, and I've only recently teamed up with Jeff in Earthbound. So I've seen a lot of people play the game, I've seen a lot of playthroughs with it, read a lot of reviews, and understand how the game mostly works, but my personal experience isn't probably completely qualified like a lot of people I know out there. Some of the few downsides that I've noticed so far, however, in the games are, well, the random encounters and beginnings. I really think that they're just way too, well, random. They're too close, and they like to spawn a lot of hard enemies towards the beginning. I remember I was running through towards the first area of the game, and all of a sudden a random encounter appeared while I was still level 1 or 2, and a crow came out and hit me with a smash attack and killed me. So, unfortunately, it was really kind of hard for me to continue from that point. But I kept going, so I think that they should have dropped down on the random encounters, but, well, you know, they do what they do. I also really dislike the pure grinding that is most of Beginnings in order to act, well, not actively, but to easily, or maybe not have a difficulty so high to take out some of the bigger enemies, some of the bosses, some of the crows, like I've mentioned earlier, in the game. I also think that there is just a little bit of grinding that needs to be done in Earthbound, especially when you first meet Jeff or when you get Paula, and you just have to get their levels back up. I really think that they should have had their levels be whatever your level was at the beginning. But I do realize that this was the SNES and the NES times, and they hadn't quite figured out the formula that they wanted to go with in the NES game, and that the SNES game still had its limits. But I love the game so much. I just think that the history behind the game, being that Earthbound Beginnings was released in Japan, had some pretty decent selling. They sent a prototype over to Nintendo of America. Nintendo of America changed a few of the sprite images because the crow was smoking and some other interesting things that you can look up in your own time, and translated it to English. But it was so close to the SNES release that they decided that it would have been a loss to release it towards the NES, and would have maybe pulled back some of the sales from the SNES when it came out. I think that the popularity of Earthbound has definitely grown. I've read that the Earthbound game that released in America, the SNES one, was unfortunately a little bit of a flip-flop. They produced a lot of copies, but there wasn't enough demand for the game because we simply hadn't played the beginnings. But I do know that it's gained quite a following, and there are many people out there that absolutely love the game. And now that I've played through a good chunk of it, I absolutely love it. Now, why do I love the game? Well, there are several things that I absolutely love about it. I am a big fan of RPG games. My friends know that I've played games like Tales of Symphonia, Tales of the Abyss. I love the Xenoblade series. I love, Kingdom Hearts, even though that's not so much an RPG, technically, like a turn-based RPG. But, I love these types of games where you're living a story, where you're running around, where you're doing your own thing, trying to save the world, and you have to level up, you have to utilize strategies, and all this great stuff. And Earthbound, both games, even the things that I've seen of Mother 3, they just really ring true to what I love about RPGs. Just great fighting, great turn-taking, great magic abilities, great items, great everything. Awesome exploring to learn more about the world. Earthbound is generally known for the dialogue that it has with some of the characters out in the game, so that you can really interact with the world. And of course, solving mysteries, trying to figure out what is actually going on in the world. I haven't finished the game, so no spoilers here, but there's this mystery that's driving me to finish the game, and both of the games anyway. I love the music. Just listen to the music for a second. I'll play some right now. Isn't that just lovely, awesome music? I am a big music fan. I did marching band in high school. I'm still doing marching band now. I've been in music programs ever since I was little, and music is just one of the things that really makes me connect to a video game. Skylar was telling me the other day that one of the things that Koji Kondo does to make sure that he loves music is just listen to it over and over again. Play through it several times, and if he doesn't get bored of it, he loves it. And I think the composer for these games did the same thing, and I could do the same thing and just listen to it forever. I just love the music, and I'm sure that there are many people out there that absolutely do. And of course, I love the gameplay aspects. Just the fact that you walk around the world, find enemies, get to go to different towns, get to explore. Gameplay is one of the reasons why I play games. If the game's fun, I'll play it. If it's not so much fun, I might just drop it. So, I also just love the story that's going on so far in the game. It's still a mystery to me, like I've said. So, I know that it's just going to be a great game for me to finish playing. Now, like I said, my experiences with the game are very premature for both, as I have yet to beat them. But I have to say that I'm absolutely loving them, as I've said before. I just have to emphasize that over and over again. I love them. I appreciate the effort that the developers put into the game, especially the game producer and writer. The games are just really intricate. The story is fantastic. It's just a wonderful game. I can only say that I'm excited to finish them and continue the series. Maybe even grab Mother 3 or hope that Nintendo launches Mother 3 on the eShop eventually. So, if you need a good game to pick up, I highly recommend Earthbound. Earthbound Beginnings is a little slower, of course. I've noticed that. But it is absolutely worth the money. Both of the games are. Pick it up, or if you've played it already, pick it up again. I know that I am currently enjoying it, and I know that I will continue to enjoy it. So that's about it for this episode. It was only, 10-15 minutes. I'm not entirely sure yet. It was a shorter one, but I hope that you enjoyed my short little explanation of why I love the game. Thanks for listening to the episode, and I really hope that you tune in with us next week when all four of us are together again to discuss what should be Splatoon. I think that's what we were talking about, but if it's not Splatoon, then something else that's equally as awesome. So, I sound like a broken record, but don't forget to check out our website at virtualboys.xyz. We've been putting in a lot of time over there to get Nintendo news out and have a pleasant experience for everybody. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast as well, and, well, thanks for listening. Goodbye.